Hi everybody, this is Kathy. Welcome back. Now I'm about to put up this video here that you're seeing on your screen. Did Eric's mystery friend get BJ all set up for rehab on a podcast? And did BJ turn it down? I have serious questions about that. I believe this guy here, he they were talking about Hulk Hogan, and so I'll explain it in this video why I doubt it. I doubt he actually had it set up. Because he claims he talked to him on this podcast about BJ and a boyfriend, and it's not on here. Anyway, you can watch that. It's separate, but I'm going to put this one up first because somebody's going to say, well, Kathy, she does need to go to treatment. I don't know that, and you don't know that. Um, and you can't just point at somebody and say, you have to go to treatment now, get out. I mean, you can, but it's not going to make them go to treatment. So there's a whole lot of factors that have to, you know, be considered. Like, is the person, are they just what do they call it, relapsing right now, or or do they have to go back to treatment? Because BJ already went to treatment, and so without any more information, like how often is somebody using, or are they how bad is it affecting their life? Now, there's a whole lot of stuff that the professionals take into consideration before they decide whether it's going to be inpatient or outpatient. Do you actually need treatment, or do you just, whatever, need some counseling, or, do you need anything, or is it, um, so like I said, there's inpatient, outpatient, there's long term, short term, there's, all kinds of things to consider. So, anyway, I don't think Eric, I know he's not qualified to just point at somebody. And on top of that, I do believe that he was trying to remove BJ by lying and saying she was evicted, and then doing everything he can to get her a restraining order, just anything he can to get her off the property. And he wants people to back him up on this by making her seem dangerous and everything, and making it seem hopeless, that don't think that she'll ever get help, because look, I already tried. I had it all set up for her and her boyfriend in a luxury place, and she said no, she's not going to do it. So he wants the people, supporters, and the people on his channel to say, yeah, you went through all that trouble and she turned down that help, and so she's never going to get help. This is never going to go away. She needs to leave. So by Eric convincing the crowd that BJ has not only needs treatment, he has decided, but also that she has turned down free treatment and has got no reason to turn it down, because it was all set up. You know what I mean? So it's just a way of manipulating everybody. So anyway, so Eric thinks that he can just point at somebody with his measuring stick and say, yes, you must go to treatment. BJ must go. And I even set it up and everything. That's not how it works. Right? You can't just point at somebody and then go set up treatment and command them to go there, because you're not qualified to do that, and you got no right to do that to anybody, let alone BJ Hertz, or anybody. So anyway, let's see what Eric. Let's compare. As a matter of fact, if we're gonna play, amateur psychologist, or amateur chemical dependency evaluator, we can do that too. If Eric wants to play it, we can play it. And if we go by Eric's standards, we're just gonna have to compare what he's saying about BJ to himself. Now, if BJ needs to go to treatment because someone in the family is upset and thinks that she's using, well, we could say the same about you, Eric.
My wife came to me one night, very angry, seeing a woman say that she had known me and my wife her whole life. The reason I wasn't able to come home from West Virginia is because I'm on methadone. And my wife has given me this ultimatum. I can't come home until I'm off the methadone. I've never taken methadone in my life.
Now, Eric, should we believe you? Because you seem to have some family who is suspicious of you, right? So, yeah, it seems like your home seems to be upset by either the use of uh, substances, and I can't really say the D word with rugs at the end because it's not user friendly because they think you're going to glorify it, which I'm not. So I would just say substances, okay? So, Eric, now you said BJ's household is claiming that she's on some substances, but it seems like your household is having some issues too. And it seems like your family's going harder on you than BJ's family is going on her. And at least they're not saying that she can't come home, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's why you're so upset that she can go home and you can't. Next, let's go over like a criminal history, okay? Now, you claim that, her substance abuse is so out of control that she's getting arrested. Now, the reason she got arrested is because she had some things laying in the grass behind her camper that you and Patrick seem to have tipped off the police. And so she wasn't uh, out doing anything. She was, basically had stuff laying in the grass, some copper, okay? Whether it is stolen or not, she has not been convicted yet, okay? Now, I did go over BJ's record again today, okay? Now, I went back and it goes back to 2014. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. What was it? Actually, hold on, let me check. Okay, yeah. And it's not much, you guys. Not much. Some traffic misdemeanors, literally littering, some traffic stuff. And then this year, yeah, she had another couple misdemeanors. And then she had the copper thing that she's not been convicted for. So guess what? She's not been convicted of, Eric. She's not been convicted of a DWI or drug arrest, okay? She's rugs or alcohol, okay? But now, Eric, you yourself admitted that you were arrested for DWI. I think it was 2008 or whatever. But a lot of times people that have DWIs have a drinking problem, right? And so a lot of people in alcohol treatment are there. A lot of them have had DWIs. It's usually a indication of a drinking problem. And so yeah, you have been arrested for an alcohol related offense, which is one up on BJ because she is not, and she's not been arrested for the D rugs. You know what I mean? And so yeah, you got her on that one. Yeah. Oh. And speaking of which, um, you also admitted to having a raging opioid addiction, right? And that really doesn't. And you called yourself a victim of the epidemic. Like you caught some, bad flu or something. But you were not only arrested for DWI, but you're admitting to having like I said, a raging opioid addiction. And my question is, because BJ's not only not been arrested, but she's also gone to treatment already. Eric, my question is, have you gone to treatment for, the drinking or the opioid addiction and that you've admitted to? Because I don't remember any stories about going to treatment. As a matter of fact, I think all these times you were trying to cram treatment down BJ's throat, I would have think that you would have probably brought up how it saved your life and how treatment, is what did it for you. Because if you can quit, you know, alcohol and drugs um, without treatment, then why are you trying to push treatment on other people? You know what I mean? So which is it? Because yeah, we don't have any indication at all that you've ever been to treatment. So you're literally, I guess by default you would be a untreated addict, right? With it's never gone to treatment. So anyway, so BJ's got you beat on that one because she actually has gone into treatment for help, and you haven't. Now here's Eric telling BJ to get her life back on track and all that stuff. But
I've been sober now for almost 20 years.
Wow, 20 years.
I can't sit here and tell you that it can't be done, or that addict is a lost cause, because there was probably people that thought at one point in time I was a lost cause.
Okay, so you're tied with her on there too, because you're saying she's a lost cause. I do have a clip of that, by the way, where he says, "Do I think she's can be treated? Yeah. Will she? No." So you are declaring BJ a lost cause, but look, people thought you're a lost cause too, and now without treatment or anything like that. Now you have not again never mentioned about treatment, but here let's go on another another Eric's observations. Oh, you know what just dawned on me? Eric. Now, I find it interesting that if you've been sober for 20 years, then why would your wife question the the drugs? Why would your wife even get mad and question you about the drugs? If you've been sober for 20 years, I think the person that you live with, your own wife, would not question. Because listen, when I was married, I absolutely would know if my husband was on something or not. How can you be married to somebody and not know? So if a woman had called me and said, "Hey, your husband is on drugs," I would laugh. Him and I would laugh, and we would laugh because I know he's not. And some outsider that I've never met that rings the phone and tells me that is going to give me and him a good laugh, right? Now, why would I turn to my husband and say, "Huh, really, huh? Aha," you know what I mean? Why, you know what I mean? So, yeah, maybe it's because, where there's smoke, there's fire, as they say. Now, Eric is supposedly talking to BJ, and he's going to say something about her appearance.
What happened? What happened? I see pictures where you're like half the size of what you used to be. Is that worth it? Do we want to go to the telephone wire? Do we?
Okay, so you're going by appearance. So, you have decided that she's needs treatment because she has lost weight. Okay, Eric. Well, let's just make some observations about your physical appearance. Okay. I mean, if that's what we're going to play that game, right? We're going to play the game. Well, I can just look at her and tell that she needs treatment because she's half her weight she used to be. First of all, what are you comparing it to? You got some old pictures of her, and how does losing weight equate to somebody needing treatment? Because there's all kinds of reasons people lose weight. But yeah, since we're on appearances, let's just bring up your appearance, Eric. Now, I've noticed that you profusely sweat and you're constantly snorting and snaggling and, what do they call it? Whatever. Making them snorting noises like you're trying to do something with your sinuses there. And I also noticed that you're kind of jittery and I noticed you kind of bloated looking. You know what I mean? So BJ may have lost weight, but we've noticed that you gained weight. I mean, like I said, bloated. So if we're going to go by physical appearances, we can do the same with you because you don't look the same as your old pictures, Eric. Not even 5 years ago. So is that what we're doing? In fact, I saw BJ in a few of them videos, and she did not look agitated and all wigged out like you do in your videos. You appear to be agitated and fidgety, and your eyes are black like shark eyes. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I don't know if we can we go on appearances because that's what me and a lot of people are saying. So yeah, I'm not sure about that. So if we're gonna go by appearances, BJ's got you beat by a long shot, okay? Because if somebody looks at her and then somebody looks at you, all right, my money would be on that they would find your appearance more suspicious than her appearance. Now, another thing that Eric is judging BJ by is the disappearing money. Okay, so let's just cover that for a minute. First off, from the very beginning in this video here, the very first day that Eric met the Whitakers, and the second and the third day he ever met them, he did these long interviews, and where people in the chat were bringing up BJ and the money. And Eric said, don't worry about BJ and the money. It's not going to happen. We're going to make sure it doesn't happen again. Don't worry about it. It's in the past. And he had Eric knowing about the money and this was a couple years ago. So knowing about BJ and the money circumstances, he was okay with it because he signed a contract with the Whitakers knowing all about that money. But now that he's got a problem with her, he's going to bring up that money that he's already said he was fine about, right? So he's going to bring up this 2-year-old thing about the money. And yeah, it was 130,000 something like, but she didn't take it all. First of all, they were asking for money. Mark was giving it. They asked, he gave. They asked, he gave. And some of the money went to a vehicle. Another went to another vehicle. I can't remember. At least one vehicle. They had work done on their house. Brandon got a bunch of the money. And so, she got part of that money, yes. But she got blamed for all of it. Every penny. She maybe got less than half of it in a year's time or whatever it was. I don't know. But she took all the blame for it, even though multiple Whitakers spent that money. Okay, so to bring up that old crap from a long time ago that you were fine with is so weak and lame, Eric. So weak and lame. Because, yeah, you know what? Large amounts of missing money is very indicative of some type of a substance abuse problem or alcohol problem. But she doesn't have that this year, Eric, but you do. As a matter of fact, just a couple months ago, Eric, the state police of West Virginia opened up a fraud investigation on no other than you. Okay? There's no fraud investigation on missing tens of thousands of dollars on BJ. Now, right now, she's waiting for her court date for whatever, but she didn't take a bunch of money from a family. You did. And she doesn't have to account for all this missing money like you have to. Okay, now, the problem is, Eric, you've never paid the Whitakers. You are holding back tens of thousands of dollars for really, you yourself can't even keep an answer straight. You can't come up with a good answer, just like Patrick. So you and Patrick, particularly you also we're talking about right now, you have mismanaged money to the point where you're being under a state investigation, all right? You have been holding out money and not paying people. You've broken your promises. There's thousands of dollars missing, and it was right off the bat. As a matter of fact, let's listen to this. And as a matter of fact, not only did the state of West Virginia open a fraud investigation out on all these missing thousands, tens of thousands of dollars from Eric's hands, but also the adult protection even questioned him about missing money.
So I could get that money out of my account. I never wanted to hold on to that money. Right. That all started after money started missing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I confronted time after time after time again. That $5,000 that I had, I guess there's some podcast reaching out to me that's wanting to interview this guy.
Yep. So not only is the state police investigating him, the adult protection has asked him where all this missing money is. There's on top of it, there's $5,000 that people are questioning right in front of everybody that went disappearing, like a magician with a rabbit. You know what I mean? The disappearing rabbit trick. That's what he did, and right in front of everybody. So, Eric, the only one who has enormous amounts of money unaccounted for, missing, and shady dealings is you. This year in 2025, well, no. And so, Eric, the only one this year with enormous amounts of missing money is you. And what does that mean? Where did all this money go, Eric? Now, one thing that you can spot a user is that they lie about everything. They have to lie about everything. Where the money is, where their time is, who they're hanging around with. Tell me, Eric, would you like to write a list of the lies that BJ told this year to you specifically? Exactly what lies has BJ told? Okay. Because usually, the people that have to go to treatment are just compulsive liars at that point because their life has spun out of control. But I haven't seen BJ lie about one single thing. You can bring up that GoFundMe money and Larry dying from 2 years ago. And yes, Eric brings that up. Well, she lied about Larry, her own dad, dying a couple years ago. Yeah, okay. Is that what you got on her side? Okay. Eric, you have lied from the moment you showed up. Okay, you have lied about everything. In this particular video here, where you're rushing back to destroy the Whitaker family in the week of August 24th, you and Patrick got together and lied about, I don't know how many things. Let's think. You lied in this particular video about the eviction orders that you have evicted BJ out of the property. You and Patrick lied that the police were out looking for her. You also lied in this video about BJ driving by trying to torment Timmy on the ring cam. Lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. So you got her way beat on that, Eric. Nothing but lies were squirting out of your mouth. And you know what? Her lies hurt herself, and the lie about, Larry dying or whatever. Basically, she hurt herself. She ruined her credibility. It was humiliating, embarrassing. So she had all kinds of repercussions, but it was just on her. Your lies, on the other hand, your lies destroyed a family. Your lies ended up robbing people of money that they had rightfully coming. Your lies destroyed all kinds of people. You've got a trail of destruction and bodies in your path from your lies. And you too, Patrick. Both of you. You deserve each other. And on top of, the ring cam lie. Just besides the lies in this video right here. Oh, and also I do believe that you lied about setting up a treatment center facility with with your buddy there. Your buddy casually mentioned it, and that was it. But I do believe you lied about that in this video. And on top of those lies, you did lie to the whole Whitaker family and kind of Patrick too, but mostly the Whitaker family. You lied to the entire Whitaker family, who you claim you love, but you lied and said that you give them a third of all the earnings. You lied and you said you'd build a house and bring Ray to the doctor and you get 100% of donations, and one lie after the other, okay? Everything you've said has been a lie. So BJ's got one lie about Larry dying, and you have got a long list, okay? And not to mention, your lies slander people, and your lies turned everybody against, well, not just BJ, but Larry and Betty too. Because you lied about that restraining order and said Betty canceled it. And it's like one of those news stories that they put out, and they'll put out a big banner headline and say, Betty canceled restraining order, ruins house deal. And then weeks later, when they're forced to, they'll put a little retraction on the back page in tiny little letters. Oh, I guess she didn't. That's what happened here. He blamed the house and everything falling through on Betty. That was another major lie. So his lies are way more bigger. They're diabolical, and they destroy people's lives, unlike BJ's, whose didn't. So if we're going to go by Eric's standards on if you should go to treatment or not, Eric should go long before BJ, because Eric's checklist is long and wide. BJ's barely got nothing on her side. Okay, so from an outsider, if you handed your scorecard here and BJ's scorecard, okay, whose do you think the chemical dependency counselor should say needs to go to treatment? The one who's actively in all this stuff and pointing the fingers at everybody else? I went over the list. Eric's list is so long, and BJ's is pretty much nothing. So anyway, I guess now you can watch my other video, and then you tell me who really needs to go to treatment in this picture. You know what I mean? So if I'm saying that, how dare Eric point the finger at BJ and command her to go to treatment, if people are going to say, well, she needs to go. Well, okay, look who's pointing the finger. You believe him? Because what have you seen BJ do with your own eyes? Take Eric out of the equation. Take anything he said, pretend it never happened. What have you seen with your own eyes? Don't bring up the old crap about Larry dying and all that. Okay, we're talking about this summer. Summer 2025. What did you see BJ do that you would say, wow, she needs to go to treatment? And then look at Eric and say, what has Eric done that he should go to treatment? You know what I mean? What have you seen with your own eyes with Eric? And what have you seen with your own eyes with BJ? And that's where I suggest you should make a decision. Not by what people are saying, but by what you see with your own eyes. You know what I mean? Because people can be fooled, and there's people with evil, diabolical motives to lie on other people and point the finger at them to get the attention off themselves. Anyway, I think that's about it. I don't know if I'm forgetting anything. It is what it is. So anyway, thanks for listening, and peace.